And
சொல்லுங்க மாமா.
see, even in the monotony, we should be able to observe the change. நம்ம திரும்ப திரும்ப நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி திரும்ப திரும்ப படிச்சா கூட every time we read something new, there's something new comes up. Like last time நீங்க வந்து இந்த நம்ம சௌந்தர லஹரியிலேயே நீங்க கடைசியா முடிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி பஞ்சதக்ஷாட்சரி பத்தி இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் பண்ணீங்க. அதை நம்ம வந்து இதுல மந்திர மாத்திர ஃபுல்லா பார்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சோம். Like that, again when we read something new will come up, will go more deeper. So it's not the monotony, of course. Anadi இல்லையா எல்லாமே.
Correct. Repeatedly it goes through that cycle. Yes.
ஆதி அனந்தம்.
Absolutely. There are two kinds of cycles. One is the what you call as the vriddhi or the positive cycle. The other is the negative cycle. Generally speaking, negative cycles are where you are repeatedly doing things that are degenerative, and so it feeds into the previous cycle. So the subsequent cycle makes the degeneration even further. The subsequent cycle makes it even further, and we fall into that. What we are trying to do is the positive cycle. We are also in a cycle. We're repeating ourselves again and again, repeating ourselves. The moment you go into prison, they'll take one photo like this, one photo like this, one photo like this, one photo from the back. When we are looking at Devi, that is what we are doing. Devi on the straight, side in the side. Let me see how Kalidasa has described you. Let me see how Adi Shankar has. Let me see who this is. So we are continuously looking at the same thing in different ways, and we are creating this in our minds. We are wanting to go through this cycle repeatedly. As I said earlier, it's a helical cycle. The screw, when you look at the screw, you move through the screw in a circular fashion, but you actually move depending on which direction you keep the screw. I'm assuming it's in the upward direction, you move upwards, right? It's going round and round, but you actually move upwards. So in the same way, there is, in these cycles that we are in, it's repetitive, but we are not stuck. That's very important to recognize. So I'm saying this because as we start the Saundarya Lahari now, the 42nd shloka, it is important to recognize that we are not stuck and we are not in the same place that we were 6 months ago, 1 year ago. We are not. We have gone through. Why did we remind ourselves saying, oh, we did Mantra Matrika Pushpamala before this. Oh, we did Shyamala Dandakam before this. We did Mahishasura Mardini before this. And with each of this journey, it's a positive cycle. We're going through this cycle, right? And which is sometimes good also. And in terms of taking a break, if we need a break, we say, okay, just too much, we take a break. We'll do that. During the period, probably we'll give ourselves a couple of weeks break just to kind of settle and absorb, right? The same time that we are doing satsang, we should not do satsang and keep quiet and sit, right? Same times that on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, we are doing satsang, we should not do satsang. We should just be with ourselves, our own selves at the same time, and see what's happening. And then we will notice that, this journey has been slowly evolutionary. It kind of has evolved. It has made us look at things slightly differently, slightly better. I'm not crying over those small things that I was crying over in 2024, right? In April 2024, or when we closed Saundarya Lahari in Jan 2024. And today, when I'm picking up Saundarya Lahari from the 42nd verse, am I in the same place? It's good for us to reflect upon it. And if we do feel stuck, as I'm saying, we should take a break, right? And somehow I don't feel we feel that, but it is good to also reflect upon this sometimes, because a lot of these works are repetitive in nature. And it should not drive us to a place, yeah, I've heard it again. Yeah, yeah. As I said, where at the end of the day, even after like 30 years you've done this, you've listened to it. After 30 years, what else are you going to do? You're going to listen to the same things again and again. Bhagavatam, when people do Saptaham, you go ask people how many Saptahams they have attended. Innumerable. Kanakela, there is no count to how many Saptahams they have attended. And they will go and attend another Saptaham that will happen again, maybe in 3 months' time. They'll go again sit for the Saptaham. Same stories. Of course, each time the Upanyasakara will have different instances and different examples to cite, make it interesting. But the same story. But there are different aspects of the story that will each time make you think differently. Right? So the reason I'm saying this is what Adi Shankara has done, Bhagavan Adi Shankara, from the 42nd verse till the first 41st verse, Ananda Lahari, he has given us all variety of tantra sadhana, mantra sadhana, and all of that. And how to look at Devi as the Shri Chakra, how to look at Devi as the chakra within myself, etc. Now he is bringing from 42nd onwards, he is now going to do a full description of Devi from the top, starting from the crown, Kiritam, right, from there. And one way of also looking at it is there are three types of sadhakas: Uttama sadhaka, Madhyama sadhaka, and Adhama sadhaka. Uttama sadhaka are like the camphor. So the camphor, you don't have to actually put the fire on the camphor. Anywhere nearby, close to the camphor, you take the fire, cup and it'll pick up. So the first 41 verses are for those who are wanting to, they enjoy Vedanta, they want to be in deep meditative um, presence of Devi and not necessarily look Devi in the form. Right? In close, if you can see her in the Arupa, in presence, in the form of presence, if you can recognize her, Uttama sadhaka. But doesn't mean that each person is, this person is Uttama sadhaka, he is Madhyama sadhaka, Adhama sadhaka. I wouldn't classify it that way. I would say each one goes through all the three at different times. There are times when I feel Uttama, I feel like, oh, I'm able to grasp and understand and be in that. And then there are times I'm not so much, mind is a little. And then there are times when I'm completely exhausted, drained, not so much energy. So even within me, there are these three sadhakas that exist. So when in my Uttama state, I'm able to look at the 41 verses and listen to it and absorb it. But there are times I'm not. I need to connect with something. There is this Madhyama and Adhama sadhaka in me that wants to connect to Devi, wants to call out, Ayo Amma, where are you? I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. Where is life going? This, that. I want to call out. So at that time, you pick up the 42nd onwards, the verses 42nd onwards. So Saundarya Lahari that way is, the whole work is a pretty exhaustive work, and it is quite intense. People can spend a lot of time in each of the verses because heavily metaphorical. The blue lotus, the white moon, the ratna, the jewels, the moons, the sun. All of these, there are many, many, many different kinds of things that are presented. The Indradhanush in this verse, Indradhanush will appear, rainbow. There are many metaphorical representations. Why are these required? Just to activate the mind to look at, open up your eyes and look at all of these things around in a way. Hmm? So we will just chant the 42nd verse. Few of us will chant, and then we will look at the meaning of the 42nd verse today. Hmm. So 42nd verse. गतैर्माणिक्यत्वं गगनमणिभिः सान्द्रघटितं किरीटं ते हैमं हिमगिरिसुते कीर्तयति यः स नीडे यच्छायात् चूरणशबलं चन्द्रशकलं धनुःशौनासीरं किमिति न निबध्नाति धिषणाम्. So this one is about the Kiritam. Kiritam te haimam. Kiritam te haimam. Haimam means Haimavati. Haima. My Chitti's name is Hema. She's here. Hema comes from the word Hima. Hima has means ice or so from the word Hima comes Hema, which also means gold. Reason that there is this word, the dhatu, hima dhatu, also means this ice and also gold, is because it comes from how the Surya Bhagavan, the Surya light, the light of the sun, falls on the tip of the mountain peak which has snow, and by virtue of that it looks gold. So the term hema is also referring to gold. So here kiritam te haimam, which means the crown that she's wearing is golden color, but it could be so that the crown is probably because she is Himagiri Sute, she is the daughter of Himavan, the king of Himalayas. She may be having a nice crown on which this light of the sun is falling, and hence it has become gold in color. Right. So this is also possible. That's all poetic ways of looking at it. Right. So Kiritam te haimam. This has and it's interesting because there is a reference to Gagana Manibhihi. Okay. So the Kiritam has Gagana Manibhi, celestial gems of the 12 Adityas, Dwadasha Adityas. There are Dwadasha Adityas, right? One of the Adityas is the Surya Bhagavan that we know of. There are 12 Adityas. And the light from there is making this appear as gold. That is one way of looking at it. The other way, if you notice that Adi Shankara or even Kalidasa, the way they have constructed the beauty in the world, they are saying that the world receives its beauty it's from Devi. So if the Adityas are shining, the celestial entities are shining, that is because of Devi's crown, or because of Devi, those are shining. And those celestial the celestial entities they've come to Devi's crown because they've found space there so that they feel they can shine there because of Devi's presence. Right? So this crown, the hima, the color of gold, all of that is kind of indicated here. Gatair manikyatvam. So the crown has become a gemstone. The crown itself has become a gemstone. Gatair manikyatvam. Gagana manibihi sandra ghatitam. There's Gagana Manibhi Sandra Ghatitam means it's very, very closely studded. These gems are so closely studded. Your golden crown, Kiritam te haimam. Your Kirita, which is the golden color Kirita, te haimam, Himagiri Sute, O daughter of Himavan, Himagiri. Kirtayati Yaha, the one who sings your praises. Saha, Kirtayati Yaha, Saha, Sa, Nide Yachayat. So, the way again, these are verses that requires to be you have to because Sanskrit has this ability to place words anywhere and still derive the same meaning. The author, the composer has placed the words slightly differently, different places. He's saying how can one not praise what Nide Yachayat, this crown with gems. Now it looks like a Churana Shabalam. So one of the meanings of this thing, Nideya means bird's nest. So Nideya Chayat, the luster, Churana spreads Shabalam. The color spreads in all direction. Chandra Shakalam Shaunasiram Dhanuhu Iti Dishanam. So the crown is like the nest. So imagine, I don't know how you all are imagining the crown. Imagine the crown, like in several British movies, they will show the crown, right? If you see King Arthur's crown, it's kind of open. It doesn't, the crowns that are, Krishna and Rama, they wear, it's like a closed crown. Now imagine this crown as an open crown. Goes like that, and it's got like shapes like this, but it's open on the top. And it's like a beautiful thing in the front. When you see that, it looks like a bird's nest. Right? It looks like a bird's nest, and it's very colorful. It's a very colorful nest. So the colors from that nest is all shining out. And what color it is? Dhanuhu Shaunasiram. Shaunasiram is Indra. Indra's Dhanuhu. What is what? Indra Dhanush. Indra Dhanush is rainbow. So it is the rainbow color that I am perceiving, O mother, on your crown. And he says, Kimati Nibadhnati Dishanam, which who would not want to visualize your crown in this way? So it's a beautiful nest, beautiful bird's nest that is studded with gems, which are the celestial bodies themselves, the Dwadasha Adityas, the Surya, and several, all of these shining stars, etc. They have come and studded themselves here, and it's shining and it's spreading its color in all directions and appears like a beautiful rainbow. I think, how come one will not, how is that one will not visualize it this way, oh mother? It is so beautiful. There is a little bird here which has given birth to a few small, it's laid a few eggs in our house. And just a couple of days back, the egg is hatched and the little birdlings have come out. But when you actually see the process, it's very interesting. So this is, Anjali had hung a small pouch or something in the, we've got a balcony in the first floor. So she's on the handrails, she has just hung something there. A bird figured out that it's a nice nesting place, and it went there and laid eggs. And after that, it has been sitting there trying to hatch the eggs. So it's been about a month now. Okay. And we very silently we see from the room the glass door, and we make sure we don't disturb. So we see it from there. You see the bird is so nicely sitting inside that thing, and It is actually very vulnerable. Oh, in your balcony also, Sri Vidya. Very nice. So if you notice, the bird is actually very vulnerable because its back is completely out to the open, but it's so focused and it is unmoving, still just sitting there on the eggs and making sure that the eggs hatch or the eggs are protected, right? And it was there for like few days at end it was there, and then suddenly a couple of days back, um, I think they went and saw probably the little birds have come out of the egg, and then now it's going out to fetch some food and come and feed the egg, the birds, right? The little birds. Now, when you see this whole process here, it is actually a very beautiful thing in nature, right? It's something that's happening everywhere all the time, and it's not very oh so fantastic and all that. But look at Adi Shankara. Somebody like Adi Shankara has looked at this and possibly seen beauty even in that, right? There is this comedian called Yogi Babu. So he has his hair all over the place, right? Like this big hair. So for fun, we'll all say that in Talamudi, it looks like a bird's nest. But look at the way the Adi Shankara has seen it is he's looking at a bird's nest and relating it to Devi's crown. And he's saying that so such a see, bird's nest is the most safe place for the little eggs and the little birdlings. Of course, there are other birds that can come and eat it away, and all of that is there. But in many ways, the mother bird, what it's trying to do is create a very, very safe and a secure place for the eggs to be, grow, hatch, and the little birds come grow till it grows and till it's able to come out and fly. So in many ways, that nest is like the womb. So see how Adi Shankara has brought the womb to the crown. Fascinating. And this is what he shows. See, look at this. I'm saying, of course, poets are always like that, right? They see something, a tree leaf is falling from the tree, and suddenly they'll write 20 lines of poem. And we'll be like, "Adle nache." We can't think like our poet thinks. He'll be like, "What is it? Okay, so what? The leaves for keep falling all the time. I don't waste my time. I have to go, it'll be like that." Or an artist will see that suddenly and oh, I'll capture it in a painting. So they have a very refined view of looking at the world. And as a spiritual sadhaka, I think some of these aspects should rub on us. We don't have to suddenly, when you're walking the road, oh, look at that red color traffic light. அப்படின்னு பார்த்து நிக்க கூடாது. You didn't say, oh, Guruji said you should experience everything suddenly. We shouldn't do all that kind of things. But idea is we should try and explore finer aspects of life. We should we should start developing a refined eye to look at things. We shouldn't overdo it also, right? So this is important. So suddenly we shouldn't feel we are Adi Shankara and start building nests all around the house, right? It may not be it may not be a great idea to do that. But the idea is that you look at such small things and derive beauty from that. Saundarya Lahari is all about the 100 verses are not about a Devi. It is about how you see beauty in life. This joy of Lahari of flowing of beauty is experienced in life, in your perception, in your engagements, in your transactions. That is Saundarya Lahari. So if you're able to see something like this, there's a bird, and you're able to sit and just observe it a little bit, just see, watch the beauty of How nature, and there is no hanky, there is no, the mother bird is not coming, see, Nana Makum or 10 egg poten, it doesn't go around saying those things, right? I did a great thing by laying 10 eggs. It doesn't do all of that. It just comes, lays eggs quietly, takes care of the child, the eggs till they hatch. It takes care. Now, when the birds grow out and they fly off, they are not going to come and, oh, mother, you are the one who, "ஒன்பது மாசம் வயித்துல வச்சேன்னு," you, all that nonsense will not happen then. Will go. See, there is beauty in everything. This is what we are seeing. Right? We don't want to make everything emotional and everything like kocha kocha like that, right? But at the same time, develop a refined eye to see beauty around. And notice there is no beauty elsewhere sitting somewhere in some hallucinatory world. It is right here. My daughter took a beautiful video the other day. I don't know, she's probably put it on Instagram or something. And it's a very simple. We all go for a walk. We walk in the mornings, and there are these very beautiful plants that they've planted here, which has this. It looks like the ears of the corn, but it's not a corn plant, but it looks very beautiful. So she took a video from in a particular angle. It looked so beautiful. So the morning sun was rising, and then there was wind blowing, and the road was kind of empty. And then she took a video, and I felt the world is beautiful, right? The world is beautiful. We just have to start looking at it that way, right? Looking at the world in an understanding that it is beautiful as it is. But what happens is the repetitiveness we spoke about, and Sundar Mama also pointed out beautifully, everything happens repeatedly, but there is when you look at this close enough, there is so much beauty in every day. There is a little difference, there is something different, there is something different. So when you do your daily activities, look at the same Shiva, for example, if you're doing the same koot today, instead of red molaga podi, put green chili or put sambar podi. Do something different that way so that it becomes interesting. That is how we look at oh, believe me, it will be nice if you do it. Maybe you put some pepper sometime on certain day. You do you use pepper to get the spice. I'm just saying what happens is sometimes it is important to find. It becomes sometimes it may not be. Of course, we've got to take a break and look at things differently and all of that. But sometimes it becomes important to look at some of these things even in mundaneness. In mundaneness, we try. It's an attempt. In mundaneness, we try to see, is there something little different? Right? Today, the same place that I'm doing the same thing. Is something different here? There will be. Like they say, right? The river, you can't step into the same river twice. What does it mean? Time is flowing. Mind is telling us that it's the same thing. But if we give it a little bit of thought, little bit of observation, a little bit of refined perspective, probably there is something different. It is difficult, but then that is the beauty. So when Adi Shankara is able to see Devi's crown in a nest, of course, you'd say that, oh, he didn't have anything else to do. He was just roaming around. But that is not the case. In 32 years, what he accomplished, we wouldn't be able to do even in 320 years, right? Or even 3,000 years for that matter. But the important idea is that to develop this attitude of seeing Devi this way. गतैर्माणिक्यत्वं गगनमणिभिः सान्द्रघटितं किरीटं ते हैमं हिमगिरिसुते कीर्तयति यः स नीडे यच्छायात् चूर्णशवलं चन्द्रशकलं धनुःशौनासीरं किमिति न निबध्नाति धिषणाम्. Don't keep looking for Indradhanush, he's saying. The Indradhanush is available right here. It is there. It is there in the form of Devi's crown. When you're thinking about it, close your eyes, you see it. And it is available in nature around us. We develop the eyes to see it. I'll close with this. There are people I have known, I've seen and heard, read about, are people who are in a state of mind within that they, wherever you place them, all they're able to see is a beautiful world. And such people exist in the same world as we are, the exact same circumstances that we are. But through concerted effort, they've brought themselves to a place where they recognize that it is me, for the world is beautiful. I just have to develop an eye to see it that way. That is the underlying message of Saundarya Lahari. Okay. So we'll pick up from the next verse next week onwards. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambiketi Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
धन्यवादः.